On the news tonight, federal government commissioned solar-powered CCTV monitoring center on 2nd Niger Bridge. Onyeme calls for mass PVC collection, e-registration in Ndokwa West. Economic hardship forces Nigerians to cut cable TV subscriptions. Abroad, Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni wins re-election for the 7th time. Good evening and welcome to Delta TV Main News at 8. My name is Perpetua Iboba. You can follow our news online on Facebook at Delta Broadcasting Service Asaba and on YouTube at Delta Broadcasting Service Asaba, or visit our website at www.dbsasaba.com. And to the details. The federal government has commissioned a solar-powered CCTV monitoring center on the 2nd Niger Bridge as part of efforts to strengthen road security and infrastructural management. The monitoring center was commissioned by the Minister of Works, Senator Dave Umahi, marking a new phase in the nation's road security architecture. Speaking at the event, Senator Umahi said the project aligns with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's vision for modern, technology-driven highways, noting that although the bridge was substantially completed by the previous administration, all outstanding components were fully delivered under the present administration. The minister explained that tolling on the bridge was delayed due to the absence of access roads, a challenge now addressed with the commissioning of the 17.5-kilometer bypass designed to divert traffic from Asaba metropolis. According to him, the 179 billion naira bypass project executed by CCCC was redesigned with reinforced concrete pavement and equipped with solar-powered streetlights and CCTV cameras. The State Commissioner of Police, CP Adeshola Aino, commended the initiative, saying it would enhance policing, reduce crime, and improve traffic flow along the corridor. In their remarks, the Asaba of Asaba, Obi Professor Epiphany Azinge, and the Igwe of Obosi Kingdom, and chairman of the Anambra State Traditional Rulers Council, Igwe Chidubem Iweka, said the project will curb vandalism, protect critical infrastructure, and restore public confidence in the use of the bridge. They expressed gratitude to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and all stakeholders, describing the project as timely and impactful. The State Deputy Governor Samande Onyeme has charged members of the All Progressives Congress (APC) to obtain their permanent voter cards and participate actively in the ongoing electronic registration of party members. Sir Onyeme gave the charge at Ibabo, Onichokwane, while addressing political office holders and leaders of the APC in Ndokwa West local government area. Pere Botu reports.
The deputy governor described politics as a game of numbers and urged party members to take the electronic registration exercise seriously. Sir Onyeme said registering with the APC without possessing a voter card was not enough, stressing that the voters card guaranteed participation in elections. He noted that as the largest political party in terms of population, the APC must also demonstrate voting strength through mass ownership of voter cards. The deputy governor commended the unity within the APC, especially in Ndokwa West, and thanked party leaders and members for their contributions to the party's growth. Sir Onyeme added that sustained commitment from party leaders would help encourage more people to register with both the APC and INEC. Earlier, the chairman of the APC in Ndokwa West, Chief Greg Honor, thanked the deputy governor for promoting party unity and attracting more members. Chief Honor disclosed that electronic registration of APC members commenced in the state due to the confidence reposed in Governor Sheriff Oborowori, adding that the party was proud of his performance in governance. He urged eligible voters in Ndokwa West to register with INEC to strengthen the party ahead of future elections. The chairman of Ndokwa West Local Government Council, Chief Obi Nzete, said the deputy governor's commitment to political enlightenment had encouraged increased registration with the APC and the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Some leaders who attended the meeting included the member representing Ndokwa West in the State House of Assembly, Honorable Charles Emetulu, Managing Director of Desupadec, Chief Festus Oshonogo, Engineer Dan Osai, Chief Ben Ogu, Chief Emmanuel Igri Okwaji, Chief Lucky Okuji, and Mr. Oyenka Idima, who represented Honorable Eugene Okolocha, among others. I am Pere Botu reporting.
Residents of the state capital have shared different opinions on why many people no longer subscribe regularly to cable television services. Some residents blamed the frequent increase in subscription prices, saying it has become too expensive for the average family. Henry Unogwa reports.
Cable television subscriptions are steadily declining across Nigeria as rising costs and economic pressures forces many households to reconsider how they spend their money. Some residents say current cable charges are no longer affordable and have called on service providers to reduce prices and introduce a pay-as-you-go system, allowing subscribers to pay only when they watched.
For me, I don't believe, because even if I have a better option, if I were to be using DSTV, you understand, I don't think I will still go for DSTV subscription, because that increment has made a lot of people to change, to switch from DSTV to other ones that they can be able to afford.
The increment should be reduced and it should be pay as you go. If you are not watching it, it should not be running. It should only run when you are watching it. Because in Nigeria here, you see that you pay for subscription, even when you are not there to watch it, it will be running. It's actually very discouraging. Now with the meager source of income, the economic hardship, a lot of people can't afford it anymore. Like you see, in those days, weekends, you want to on the telly for the children. Telly is educative, it's entertaining, you know, and it brings family together.
Others blame poor electricity supply for the drop in subscriptions. Civil servants and residents say frequent blackouts make it difficult to enjoy cable services, turning monthly payment into wasted expenses.
Because I have to keep myself abreast with happenings through listening to news. I'm a sports aficionado. I must listen to sports, watch football. Today is the African Cup of Nations quarterfinals, semi-finals rather, between Nigeria and Morocco. And I love, science fiction, discovery. There's some channels that are really quite important and are intellectual. Forget about the kids who must pay because of cartoons. So we just have to pay. The major thing that could really affect my subscription is power. You see, when most times, the reluctance of a lot of people to pay is the fact that there's no consistency in power supply. You won't be able to pay GoTV Max, for example. You pay 8,500, or you pay DSTV almost 18,000, and there's no power to watch it. Cost of fueling is quite exorbitant. The cost of living in Nigeria is quite exorbitant. So it puts the average parent under pressure. But because of the passion you have.
Many respondents also pointed to poverty and the rising cost of living, explaining that with food, transportation, and rent taking priority, cable television has become a luxury many families can no longer afford.
Money not there anywhere again. The country, everywhere don't get as a bill. Nothing they happen for the state again. If not, it's good to subscribe before. But now money not be the thing.
Inflation of price is very wrong because what they give out it does not equate what the money is all about. If what you are giving programs are there and the facilities are in stable condition, I don't think increasing the price will be the solution to it.
Still, a few subscribers say cable television remains relevant, especially for sports and children's programs. Some parents say they only subscribe during school holidays, festival periods, or major football tournaments. Despite differing views, many Nigerians agree that cable service providers must improve their offerings. They are calling for lower prices, flexible payment options, and better value for money to attract and retain subscribers in a challenging economic climate. Henry Onogwa reporting.
Reactions have continued to trail the federal government's newly announced tax reform laws, with residents of Delta State expressing mixed feelings about its potential impact on their livelihoods. Our correspondent, Eunice Abayazia, spoke with some residents in the state capital.
Residents of Asaba, the state capital, have been sharing their views on the federal government's newly announced tax reforms, with opinions divided over its potential benefits and challenges. Some respondents welcomed the reform, saying it could improve government revenue and strengthen the economy if implemented fairly and transparently. Others questioned the timing of the reform, citing economic hardship and rising inflation. Many expressed concern that the new measures could increase pressure on small businesses and worsen the cost of living.
Tax reform is a good idea in a situation whereby the tax generated will be used for social amenities that the masses will benefit. It's actually a very good idea.
And so there's a lot of misconception going around. If you are really interested in information, you ask for it. Like, for one, I made a request on their website that I wanted a soft copy of the approved tax, so I could go through it. But if you don't make such requests, or you don't take your time to find out the answers to the things you want, then you get all kinds of junk from social media.
Time is not a good when this economy is affecting everybody. People are complaining that the economy is affecting us, and they want to come and start removing something from us, and it's not good now.
Like we will not work for government. A little one they say we go come out and get a CV.
As I'm talking to you, I'm a graduate, no work. This place now, I'm just working for somebody. Where everything is expensive in the market. Government is not paying me. I will not be the one to pay them tax. For what now? Is it for the air I'm breathing, and then the one giving me air, the air that we are breathing? What are we paying tax for? They should just clear it. If it's the money they are borrowing that we are paying for them, let them tell us so that we know.
Some residents called on the government to engage citizens more actively, prioritize job creation, and ensure transparency in how tax revenues are utilized. They also urged authorities to protect low-income earners from additional financial strain.
My advice to the government would be, for now, they should shelve that idea of the tax reform, then try to put things in place when I mean social amenities.
So my advice now is make them stop them, make them knock out.
While the federal government says the tax reform was aimed at simplifying the tax system, widening the tax net, and boosting national revenue, residents insist that the real test will be in effective implementation and visible improvements in public services. Eunice Emeazia reporting.
Ahead of the National Identification Number registration scheduled to commence on Monday next week, residents who are yet to enroll have been urged to take part in the exercise to enable the government to plan effectively for development and their social welfare. The State Director General, Orientation and Communications Bureau, Dr. Fred Ogenesive, made the call while playing host to the State Coordinator of the National Identity Management Commission in Asaba. Gloria Otolo reports.
Dr. Ogenesive stressed that accurate and comprehensive data remain critical to sustainable development, noting that the National Identification Number NIN registration exercise would provide government with reliable information on the state's actual population. He explained that proper NIN registration will also help authorities determine the number of buildings and structures across the state, thereby improving planning, service delivery, and infrastructure development. The Orientation Bureau DG added that Governor Sheriff Oborevwori was deeply committed to the welfare of Deltans and required dependable population figures to effectively plan and implement policy in key areas such as development, social services, and economic growth. He urged residents of the state to therefore ensure that they and their household were duly registered, describing the NIN as a vital tool for inclusive governance and long-term development.
And I can say it's a collective collaboration, because it will benefit the federal government, to also benefit the state government. It will also enable us as a state to know the number of persons that we have, so that when we are planning also, like the federal government, we know how to plan. Back home here in Delta, His Excellency is very concerned about the welfare of Deltas. and they actually really want to know the actual figure of the people in the states.
Speaking earlier, the Delta State Coordinator of the National Identification Management Commission, NIMC, Ms. Grace Obels Robinson, said the commission was partnering with the relevant agencies to create wide public awareness for the exercise. She explained that the collaboration with the State Orientation Bureau aligned with the President's directive to ensure all Nigerians were captured in the national database.
And this registration is for fresh, those that have not registered before. We don't want somebody that have registered before, maybe because he lost the NIN, will come and repeat it. No, we cannot do it alone. We need collaboration with other agencies.
The NIMC official said the registration would commence on Monday, January 19, and run for 6 weeks, targeting all unregistered persons from age 0. Gloria Otolo reporting.
Meanwhile, the State Orientation and Communications Bureau has joined forces with the National Identity Management Commission to sensitize residents ahead of the forthcoming National Identification Number registration exercise. The partnership was formalized during a courtesy visit by the Delta State NIMC coordinator, Mrs. Grace Obels Robinson, to the Director General of the Delta State Orientation and Communications Bureau, Dr. Fred Ogenesive. Dr. Ogenesive emphasized the strategic importance of the NIN, describing it as a critical tool for national development and security. Beyond identification, he said the NIN supports effective planning of social welfare programs, generation of credible population data, and accurate capture of taxable income for both state and federal governments. He pointed out that NIN was not just a means of identification but also essential for social welfare planning, credible population data, and accurate capture of taxable income. The Director General assured the communication of the Bureau's readiness to work closely with NIMC to sensitize residents, noting that effective public enlightenment was key to a successful registration process. The exercise will focus on unregistered residents, including newborns, children, and adults. The mass registration exercise commencing on Monday will run for 6 weeks across all wards in the state. Both NIMC and the Bureau emphasized that citizens' active participation was essential for the initiative to achieve its goal of documenting every resident at unit, ward, local government, and state levels. The state chapter of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NIPR, has joined Nigerians to honor the courage, sacrifice, and patriotism of officers and men of the armed forces and other security agencies on the 2026 Armed Forces Remembrance Day. Chairman of the state NIPR, Mr. Godfrey Osakwe, said the day was not just ceremonial but a national call to gratitude and responsibility, urging citizens, government and organizations to provide consistent support to serving personnel and the families of fallen heroes. Governor Sheriff Oborewori has congratulated the State Commissioner for Agriculture and Natural Resources, Barrister Va Areyenka, on his 60th birth anniversary. In a statement issued in Asaba by his Chief Press Secretary, Sir Festus Ahon, the governor described Areyenka as a consummate political tactician and devoted public servant. Governor Oborewori praised him as a steadfast political leader, accomplished lawyer, and seasoned administrator, whose commitment to service and good governance has remained exemplary. He also commended the Commissioner's effort at revitalizing the agricultural sector in line with the administration's MORE agenda, aimed at boosting food security, job creation, and sustainable economic growth. The governor wished Barrister Areyenka good health, renewed strength, and many more years of impactful service to Delta and humanity. Governor Sheriff Oborewori has also congratulated the leader of the State House of Assembly, Honorable Emeka Nwobi, on his 51st birth anniversary. In a statement issued in Asaba by his Chief Press Secretary, Sir Festus Ahon, The governor described Nwobi as a lawmaker of high repute and an outstanding representative of Anyocha North constituency. Governor Oborevwori commended the House leader, who also chaired the Nigerian Majority Leaders Forum, for his exemplary and exceptional leadership qualities, humility, and patriotism. He noted that Honorable Nwobi's contributions have continued to strengthen the legislative arm of government and advance the matters of state development and progress. You are watching the Delta Television main news at 8. Still to come, Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni wins re-election for the 7th time. Details of this and more after the break.
Right this moment, in every corner of Delta State, brilliance waits to be discovered. But too often, these dreams are dimmed by circumstances. For our first season, 13 exceptional minds broke through. Out of hundreds of applicants, these individuals emerged at the top, not just as scholars, but as torchbearers of hope. This is not charity. This is justice. Because talent deserves investment. And now, the good news. Season 2 is here. Full tuition, on-campus accommodation, living support, career mentoring from entry to graduation. Applications are now open for indigents of Delta State, and it runs between now to the 28th of February 2026. Visit www.otemoeducationalfoundation.org to apply. Remember, learn today, lead tomorrow.
You're watching the Delta Television main news at 8. The global scene is next as we join our world news desk.
Uganda President Yoweri Museveni won a 7th term in office today after an election marred by violence and an internet shutdown, with Africa observers saying arrests and abductions have instilled fear. Museveni, 81, won 71.65% of the vote in Thursday's election, the Electoral Commission said, amid reports of at least 10 deaths and intimidation of the opposition and civil society. His victory allows him to extend his 40-year rule of the East Africa country. He defeated Bobby Wine, 43, a former singer-turned-politician, who won 24.72% and said he was in hiding today after a raid by security forces on his home. Wine has faced relentless pressure since entering politics, including multiple arrests before his first run for the presidency in 2021. Museveni's ruling party, the National Resistance Movement, also had a commanding lead in parliamentary seats, according to provisional results. Ballots are still being counted. Iran's supreme leader today said authorities must break the back of the seditionists, blaming U.S. President Donald Trump for casualties after a deadly crackdown of protests against the country's clerical leadership. Iran was rocked by weeks of demonstrations sparked by anger over economic hardship that exploded into the biggest protest against the Islamic Republic in more than 3 years. But demonstrations have subsided after the crackdown that right group says left thousands dead under an internet blackout that lasted more than a week. Authorities have said demonstrations they condemn as riots are under control, with state-aligned media reporting thousands of arrests and officials vying swift punishment for those detained. Iranian authorities have blamed the United States for fueling a terrorism operation that they say hijacked peaceful protests over the economy. Trump, who backed and joined Israel's 12-day war against Iran in June, had repeatedly threatened new military action against Iran if protesters were killed.
Let's join our business news desk for stories on business and the economy.
The Nigerian exchange rebounded yesterday, with investors gaining about 13 billion naira following a new policy announcement by the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC. Market optimism was triggered by the SEC's decision to raise the minimum capital requirements for capital market operators, with a compliance deadline set for June 30th, 2027. As a result, total market capitalization rose by 30 billion naira, closing at 106.353 trillion naira. The all-share index also edged by 0.04% to close at 166,129.5 points. Gains were driven by strong performances in Red Stars Express, NCRO Nigeria, and SCOA. Red Star Express led the gainers with a 10% increase, while NCRO Nigeria and SCOA also recorded significant price appreciation. Overall market sentiment was positive, as 43 stocks gained against 26 losers. However, trading activity slowed, with investors exchanging 539.9 million shares, valued at 16.7 billion naira, lower than the previous session's figure. Zenith Bank topped the activity chart, accounting for over 10% of total volume and more than 22% of the total value traded. Meanwhile, stocks such as McNicholas, Legend Internet, and Cornerstone Insurance closed lower at the end of trading. The market reaction follows the SEC's announcement of new capital thresholds aimed at strengthening Nigeria capital markets. The Naira recorded a significant week-on-week gain against the United States dollar at the official foreign exchange market. The Central Bank of Nigeria's data showed that from January 9 to 16, 2026, the Naira appreciated by 5 Naira 22 kobo against the dollar at the official foreign exchange market. The local currency closed at 1,417 Naira 95 kobo per dollar yesterday, representing 0.37% gain from the 1,423 Naira 17 kobo recorded during the same period last week. Accordingly, the Naira in the week posted 4 gains and only 1 day loss against the dollar, which occurred on Wednesday. Meanwhile, at the black market, the Naira remains stable at 1,490 Naira per dollar in the week under review.
Nigerian Super Eagles secured the bronze medal at the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations (AFCON) after edging past Egypt 4-2 on penalties in the third playoff encounter. The keenly contested match endless goalless at the end of regulation time, with both sides failing to break the deadlock despite creating several chances. The encounter was marked by tactical discipline, solid defending, and impressive goalkeeping performances from both teams, as neither Nigeria nor Egypt could find the breakthrough during the 90 minutes. With no extra time in the third-place playoff, the match proceeded directly to a penalty shootout. Dele Bashiru missed Nigeria opening shootout, while Egyptian captain Mohamed Salah also failed to score. The Super Eagles showed composure from the spot, converting 4 of the kicks, while Egypt managed only 2 successful efforts. Nigeria's goalkeeper emerged as a key figure during the shootout, making crucial saves that titled the contest in favor of the West Africans. The victory ensured Nigeria finished the tournament on a high note, earning the bronze medal and reaffirming their status as one of Africa's football powerhouses. For the Super Eagles, the result also served as a morale boost after narrowly missing out on a place in the final. Our thoughts for the day. No matter the circumstances, You decide who you become. Now for a rundown of the major stories in our bulletin this evening. The federal government has commissioned a solar-powered CCTV monitoring center on the Second Niger Bridge as part of efforts to strengthen road security and infrastructural development. The monitoring center was commissioned by the Minister of Works, Senator Dave Umahi, marking a new phase in the nation's road security architecture. The State Deputy Governor, Samande Onyeme, has charged members of the All Progressive Congress, APC, to obtain their permanent voter cards and participate actively in the ongoing electronic registration of party members. Sir Onyeme gave the charge at Ibabo on Ichokwane while addressing political office holders and leaders of the APC in Ndokwa West local government area. Residents of the state capital have shared different opinions on why many people no longer subscribe regularly to cable television services. Some residents blamed the frequent increase in subscription prices, saying it has become too expensive for the average family. And abroad, Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni wins re-election for 7th term. You can follow our news online on Facebook and YouTube at Delta Broadcasting Service Asaba, or visit our website at www.dbsasaba.com. That ends the Delta Television main news at 8. On behalf of the production crew, my name is Perpetua Iboba. Thanking you so much for watching. Good evening.